They say every woman has a secret, and I suppose mine lived quietly in a tin box for over 5 decades. It sat behind my sewing kitten, touched, unnoticed, and safe. A repurposed Danish butter cookie tin, its edges rusted slightly, the lid creaking when opened. Inside were 47 letters, all written by the same man, none signed with his name. My name is Eleanor. I'm 76 now, a mother of 3, a widow, a grandmother. People see me as someone who baked casseroles, folded laundry, and kept the family calendar running like clockwork. But before all of that, before the PTA meetings and Sunday roasts, I met a man who changed the way I understood love. His name was Vincent. And no, he wasn't my husband. I met Vincent when I was 20 and married to Harold, a man my parents approved of. Harold was dependable, built like a rock, spoke little, worked long hours at the mill. He loved me in his way, quietly, practically. He brought home groceries and never forgot to fill the gas tank. But there were no sonnets, no flowers, for no reason. Our love was rooted, not soaring. Then came Vincent. He was helping his cousin run a dusty little bookstore downtown. I went in looking for a quilting manual. He handed me a collection of Emily Dickinson instead, and when I told him I didn't care for poetry, he smiled and said, "That just means you haven't met the right poem yet." I left the store with nothing but a strange flutter in my chest. The week later, I returned, not for quilting books, but for conversation. He remembered my name. He asked what made me happy, not in passing but like he really wanted to know. We began exchanging books with notes hidden in the margins. Then came the letters stuck into pages, written on scraps, full of words I hadn't heard in my own home in years. The first letter was short, just 3 lines. If I had met you first, I'd have never needed anyone else. No name, just the date. And still, I knew it was him. That was 1971. We never held hands. We never kissed. But through those letters, he saw parts of me even I didn't know were there. He wrote about the way I tucked my hair behind my ear, how I hummed when I concentrated, how he could tell when I was sad even through a smile. It was terrifying and beautiful. I kept them all, every single one. The offer, if you can call it, that lasted a lifetime in words. After Vincent moved to another state, the letters arrived in the mail. No return address, just envelopes with familiar, slanted handwriting. He described the sunsets in Arizona, how rainy days made him miss the rustle of my skirt, how he passed bookstores and thought of me. I wrote back, but I never mailed my letters. I didn't dare. I had children by then, a husband who, though emotionally distant, had never wronged me. I loved my family, but Vincent's letters were a private world, a quiet rebellion in blue ink. Once, during a harsh winter, Harold lost his job and grew sullen. We barely spoke. I sat in the laundry room, reading Vincent's words by the dim bulb overhead. Even snow melts, Eleanor, so will this silence. He was right. Spring came. Harold worked again. Life resumed. But I kept the letter. I hid the tin box behind the sewing kit, beneath piles of unused thread. No one ever looked there, not even my children. It became a ritual. Once a year, usually in spring, I'd open the tin and read one letter. Just one. I'd breathe him in again, through ink and memory. I told myself it wasn't betrayal, it was preservation. The letters never stopped. For 31 years, like clockwork, Vincent wrote. He never asked me to leave, never spoke ill of Harold. He just wrote, as if putting his love into the universe was enough, until the final letter. It came the winter of 2002, a plain white envelope. Inside was a short message. My hands have grown weak. This will be my last. If there is another place after this life, I will look for you in the garden. No name, just a dried violet folded inside. I held it to my lips and cried like I never had before. Harold passed in 2009, peacefully. I mourned him. I truly did. He had given me a home, children, stability. But Vincent gave me wonder. Last year, while my granddaughter Lily helped clean out the attic, she found the tin. Her fingers brushed the edges of the old letters. "What are these, Grandma?" she asked, wide-eyed. I smiled. "Just old words from an old friend." She looked at me longer than she needed to. I think she knew. So now I sit, writing this, not as a confession, but as a memory, a preservation of a kind of love that didn't fit into this world. If I had met him first, I don't know what I would have done. But maybe the beauty of it all is that I didn't. Maybe some loves are meant to remain in ink, pressed between years and silence. Maybe some stories live not in weddings and rings, but in tin boxes behind sewing kits. And maybe that's enough. If you were me, would you have written back? Have you ever kept a love secret for decades? Did someone once change your life with just words? Would you trade stability for passion, or memory for reality? Can a love be real if no one else ever knew about it? Tell me your story in the comments. And if you felt a tug in your heart while listening, some secrets deserve to be remembered.